2, 1. Hi, my name is Curtis Aikens, Chef Curtis Aikens, and
Joy Aikens.
all right, what are you making for us tonight, Chef?
Tonight I'm gonna make us some lobster mac and cheese.
Ooh, this is oh, the mac and cheese is happening.
So we're driving. We get this baby in the
Okay, friends, tonight I have the honor and pleasure of having my niece, Ms. Joy Aikens, in the kitchen with us. A young chef. I always call people younger than me young chefs. So, Joy, tell us your background, not just in the culinary, but you're a UGA grad, right?
Yes, that's right.
What year?
I graduated in 1998.
Gosh, you're young.
Go dogs.
How about them Bulldog national championship this year, right?
Go dogs.
The heck with that crap in Florida and all that
Go
mess.
Gators.
Oh my
Go
Lord!
Gators.
You know, Lisa's a Florida fan. Anyway, so you're gonna make lobster mac tonight.
Yeah, I'm gonna make some
sounds
lobster
good.
mac and cheese.
However, now, and I gotta ask you this question. You said something about, hey, Unc, show me how to crack the lobster because it. What happens when you do lobster?
When I, it sounds silly, but when I cracked the lobster tail myself, I could hear the little lobster saying, "Please don't hurt me."
Oh, my sweet little Joe. Okay, so this is the only thing I'm gonna do tonight, and I'm going to shall we do a little dance? Now, we went to Whole Foods. They had no lobster tail, so we had to go to Safeway, and we found some frozen lobster tails. We're gonna serve 4 people tonight, so we got a tail per person, right?
That's right.
All right. So what I'm going to do now, and I'm going to show you, Joy. Would you move that for me? Because now I got lobster fingernails. Now I'm going to ask you to do 2 things for me as well, as I show everyone in the audience my best side. Reach up top, hand me my kitchen shears, my Wusthof shears right there. Thank you very much. And I also want you to take the camera and kind of come down in on Uncle Curtis, or as Layla would say, Uncle Pooney's hands. There we go. You might have to just lift the whole thing up there. Can you see my hands there?
Yes.
An easy way to get into your lobster is I'll just take my shears and run through the back like this now. And you also can take and just remove them from the top so you don't lose any of that good lobster meat, okay? A good pair of shears and just slice right down the back all the way to the bottom, okay? Now, I'm not going to bore you all at home by making you watch me split all these lobster tails. So we're going to shut down the tape. I'll get all these ready for Joy, and then she can take over. Cool. Okay, Chef Joy, so what do we got tonight?
So we are going to make our lobster mac and cheese.
Okay.
So tonight we have a glass Pyrex, and we're going to use a little bit of the easy
Little Pam, right?
ham
Okay.
for easy release.
I love
We
that.
have a little bit of liquid from our cooked pasta.
Okay, a little starchy water, huh?
Yes. And then we have salt. And then we have a cute pepper grinder.
Pick it
We'll
up and
use a
grab
little
it.
bit.
Bring it over if you want to. That's the one from Coley Boy. You used to call him Coley Baby when you was a little kid?
My little Coley.
That's right. Okay.
Apparently got this for his dad for Christmas. I like it, and I want to get one for myself. A little salt. And then we have flour.
Okay.
And then we have
About
a little...
quarter cup of flour, right?
We got a 1/4 cup of flour.
Okay, maybe a little more, huh?
And then Old Bay seasoning and a little bit of badia, garlic, and herbs.
Oh, yeah.
And then some panko bread crust.
Okay.
And then we have chicken broth.
And why chicken broth?
Well, I like to add a little bit of the little sultry flavor into the sauce that I'm going to make. So basically, for my mac and cheese, this particular mac and cheese, we're going to make a cream sauce.
Ooh.
Instead of your traditional mac and cheese casserole, where you have your cheese layered and then the pasta. We're going to make a sauce and fold everything into the sauce.
Girl, you're making me hungry.
So I like to add a little chicken stock or chicken broth to my cream sauce.
Okay.
And then we have the butter. The butter we're going to use here.
Ooh.
We're going to use the butter to saute the lobster tails in, as well as to start the cream sauce. We have a little bit of Horizon organic heavy whipping cream.
Okay.
Then we have
cheeses,
some
right?
2 cheeses. We have the Gouda.
Gouda.
Because I love the smoky taste that you get from Gouda cheese.
Fantastic.
And then a little bit of Tillamook or Tillamook?
Tillamook, either way. We're not in Washington.
Kosher,
Oregon.
medium cheddar.
Oh, let's do it.
Some
Baby.
really good cheese
All
here.
right, chef.
All
So we
right.
got our ingredients? All
We
right.
have our ingredients, and we've already cooked the pasta shells
Okay.
to go ahead and get started. So the first thing I'm going to do...
Emoji C here. I have my niece, Joy, and my great niece, Hannah, here for 5 days of fun. Can I share some of it with you? While we wait for that 5-minute red light at the tunnel, I thought I'd share some of the photographs. The girls got off the plane. They were hungry, so we stopped, of course, at In-N-Out, then on to Fisherman's Wharf. The light is turning green, so let's zip through. In Oakland, we enjoyed a place called Split. Pretty interesting. Now, the sights around the Bay Area, and these are not necessarily in order that we saw them. I love taking folks to the Legion of Honor. Have you ever videoed yourself riding through that tunnel? Now here, Palace of Fine Art. The kids loved it, so did Lisa and I. That view's from Tiburon. I love this picture. It's a flower near the DeLong Museum, Chinatown. We learned that every time you walk through those gates, it's a blessing. Now, my family, we can be a bit wacky. We love to laugh. Sophie's Choice Gift Shop. Sophia, I should say. I have a sister named Sophia. That's why we took that picture. Joy and me at the Golden Gate just love that bridge. Almost through the tunnel. Oh, don't you just love the Ferris wheel down at the Golden Gate Park? Voila! And of course, this made me smile because Joy wanted to go to the French Cheese Factory, a place my dad, her grandfather,
Go ahead and chop up our lobster meat so that we could get ready to cook it.
Are you getting hungry, Hannah?
Yes.
How about you, love?
Yep.
My niece, Hannah, my great niece, Hannah, is here with Joy. Have you had a good time, Hannah?
Yes.
Yay! What's been your favorite part so far being in California?
Seeing the Golden Gate Bridge.
The Golden Gate Bridge. Okay. You didn't like that K-pop stuff we did? Okay, then. All right. How about you, Joy? What's been your favorite part so far?
My favorite part is doing all the touristy stuff and going to see the museums and look at, seeing the different angles of the Golden Gate Bridge.
Yeah, your Uncle Curtis is crazy about that dang bridge. How about you, honey? What's been your favorite part this week?
Oh, I like all of it. Because they're both so great to have as guests.
I know. It's been fun.
But I did love Patrick Kelly, the designer.
I
Patrick
enjoyed.
Kelly.
I learned a lot about Patrick Kelly. Didn't even know who he was, but I love learning about him and the contribution he made in the world of fashion.
So tell me about Patrick Kelly. I'm going to put some pictures up of his the exhibit while you're talking about him. The things that you learned and want to share, because this is Black History Month, right?
Oh, that's right. So it is Black History Month. Not that I forgot, but I forgot it's still February. But what I learned about Patrick Kelly is he was one of the top designers back in, I want to say, the 80s and 90s, right, Lisa? And he was known for his love of fashion, but not only that, what people made to hurt other people, the caricatures, racially geared caricatures of African American that were meant to,
Be spiteful.
but demoralize, and it was people's vision or perception of African American people. He would incorporate that into his fashion. And
I think Lisa was telling me a story the other day. Honey, can you speak a little loud and tell a story about Patrick when he was a young man and the magazines he was looking at?
Yeah, when he was a young man, he would go to his grandmother's house and look at her Harper's Bazaar and Vogue issues. And he noticed there were not any African American women as models or even in the ads. And, he asked his grandmother why, and she said, those magazines are not for us. And he said, well, they could be. And so he, when he was designing, he thought, not only do I love to create beautiful clothes for women, but I want to appeal to the Black woman and make things for her. And my goal is to get into one of these magazines and be known on runways around the world, and he was.
I love it. And what was the dress, the one with the There was this one black dress that he those.
Yeah, one of his all-time favorite pieces that many people love, models and aspiring models and just women in fashion would love the black, really tight dress that he would make out of cotton and lycra, and he would have studded in the front the Eiffel Tower.
Oh, I love that.
For Paris, because he loved Paris. He lived there and learned to tour there.
Just like us, right, baby? Hey, Joy, you've got Paris stories, right? You spent some time in Paris, right?
Yes, I had the opportunity to go to Paris back in 2000, I do believe.
Wow.
And the beauty of that was the Eiffel Tower in celebration of the year 2000, which was a big year. It had 2000 across it, and the hotel that we stayed in was, I think it was the Concorde. It had this panoramic view of the city, so the room, my room looked right at the Eiffel Tower. It was such a beautiful view every night because it was lit up every single night.
Well, Lisa and I were there, 2 years ago, honey? And it was celebrated the 125th, or it was a great celebration of the tower. So I'm going to put some pictures of the tower up as well. Okay, let me reposition, honey. Now, what's next? We're going to take
now I've stabbed myself a
huge
pat
chunk
of butter.
Like a double pat.
Like a huge. So what we did was, because we have 4 people, we have 4 lobster tails.
Okay.
So that it could be like a good serving size for each person. And I like a lot of butter.
Okay.
So,
All right, so you're just melting the butter, huh?
I'm melting the butter, but not only that, I like to make sure the bottom of the pan is nicely coated. So no matter where the lobster lands in this little pan, it's going to get some butter.
Oh, I love that. That's a great tip. Thank you for sharing that. So we're going to get the whole pan coated.
Yes,
so wherever the
with a
lobster
nice pat of
lands.
butter.
Would you like for me to move that over for you? The lobster?
No,
Okay.
I take great joy in that.
You take great joy in it. J-O-Y, not J-O-I. Yours is spelled J-O-I, correct?
Right, but I like sun and en-Joi as in E-N-J-O-I
Ooh.
with my name in it.
I love that. So now, in addition to your, what do they say? How do we call it? Your day job. You also do some cooking on the side, right?
I do.
And does that still bring you joy? Joy?
I laugh because it's people who know me, who knows that I cook,
Right.
who ask me to do it for them. And because of my love for people, you know, I'll say yes. I laugh. I'm like, every time I think I've retired my chef knife, then somebody brings me back in.
You get sucked back like a godfather,
Get
huh?
sucked back
All right,
in.
now, so you've got the bash and chop there along with the flexible cutting board. You're going to just move that over to
Yes.
Okay.
So now I feel like it's at a good point to actually start sauteing.
Okay.
Yep. So I just threw a
I
little
love
piece
that
in there
sound.
just to see.
Just to test it, right?
Yes.
All right. If you pass that over, I'll put it in the sink for you.
Okay.
You like having a
I like having this
sous
sous chef.
chef, huh?
Yes.
A second.
So what I want to do is I want to cook until it's no longer translucent. It's opaque. And I want,
Okay.
and I don't want to put the seasonings or flavorings on it
Why not?
right away.
Why is that?
I just think that it would be fresher to me having it. Well, not that it changes anything, but I feel like
It's just your style.
I think it is my style.
Yeah, it's just your style, you know. And you have a little cough, but that's because you were telling me earlier you have a little.
I have.
You don't have COVID, right?
I don't have the COVID. I have a little bit of acid reflux, which it makes me cough a little bit.
Okay.
A little bit more than I care.
That smells so good.
So now
I got to go back to these questions I got now because we're sauteing
we have questions.
just in butter. Yeah, because you know, on both sides of your family, there's great cooks, right? Now on the Wesley side, that's the part of the family that's down in South Georgia, right? Your mom's family.
Yes.
Who did you love cooking with on that side of the family?
I didn't really get to cook with anybody on that side of the family, but I got to watch my grandmother do cooking.
Yeah.
And the beauty of that experience is because we have a family farm. So I'm pretty sure just being outside when she was shucking corn and those basic foundational pieces, because I'm lazy and I'm going to go ahead and get my corn already shucked. that seeing someone actually cook the food from the farm to the table was just like a very unique experience.
Magic. Yeah, yeah.
You
It's
know?
intriguing. So now, and I left Georgia when you were like 6, and however, you and I feel are very close. I mean, you and the other nieces came out several times when I was younger and
Fresh in the game.
fresh in the game. Exactly. So the question I'm getting to now: did you get a chance to cook with Grandma much? What Sweet Mom? I mean.
I laugh because, you know, I went to culinary school back in the
Right.
day, and I would bring home
After graduating from the University of
after
Georgia,
graduating from the University of
with a
Georgia,
degree in what?
speech communication.
Ooh, okay, go girl.
So
How about them Bulldogs?
go dogs.
So you just added some seasoning. What did you just add?
I just added some Old Bay seasoning and a little bit of the garlic herb seasoning. Just a
Okay.
little because Old Bay has a lot of great seasonings in it. But I don't want to skimp on the garlic.
I hear you. Okay, so you were saying now I asked you about cooking with my mother, Grandmama Aikens.
Yes.
So any
So I share this a lot when I talk to people. You know, I'm the family member. This is sad, but I'm the one they ask to bring ice to the get-togethers. So that just
What?
lets you know in the family of cooks where I fall in line.
the one that's classically trained, right?
Yes.
My goodness. Now, yeah, I know you can throw down. You and I have done some dinners together over the years, and the beauty was that, like, remember when in Tyler, Texas, and we did that meal, and the refrigeration went out, so we had to put everything in the refrigerated truck.
Yes.
That was so much fun.
I had so much fun doing that. And it was just like the comedy of errors because, you know, this beautiful couple allowed us to use their kitchen.
Gorgeous
But
kitchen.
really, they were setting up the carport for us to cook in.
Right, right.
And we had like, you don't understand like what food does. It brings people together.
Oh, yeah.
It's like the language of love and
Amen.
action.
Yeah.
And so you had people who were like, just tell me how to make the salad dressing and I'll make it.
Right.
And it was like, oh, but that's my recipe, but they want to make it.
They wanna make
and
it.
it was just like for them to be able to help. It was
It was a
everything
beautiful
to
night.
them.
It was a beautiful night.
And
yeah.
it was such a beautiful experience to be able to travel and do these things with you because I got to meet people who I have contact with to this day. And it's
don't
like
make me
those
cry.
bridges that have been, those connections that have been made that, you know, we share those memories. And there's one individual who on my birthday every year always wishes the family. He wishes me a happy birthday, sends
Ryan?
love. Yeah.
Oh, Ryan. Well, think about you, Ryan.
Ryan is a
Ryan
great
is a
person.
huge Cincinnati Bengals fan, and I'm sorry they lost. However, I was rooting for the Rams because of our bulldog, Matt Stafford. Okay, so what's next, Chef? We're going to talk all night, so I've got to get you to cooking, okay?
Okay, so what I did, I just put the lobster back to rest a little bit. Later
Okay.
on, we'll fold that into the mac and cheese.
All right, what's
But
next?
I want to take a moment.
Okay.
Okay. Well, so we are back, and we had to take a quick break because my pony's tail fell down,
The braids wanted to run, right?
which, you know, gave us another little break to kind of do some cleaning
Reset.
and reset. The biggest thing I like to impress upon everybody is I'm very serious about safety sanitation. When you do become Safe Serve certified, you learn things. And so, you know, I don't want my hair floating around.
Amen.
And we don't use the same knife if, you know, without washing it.
Right, and this will sterilize in between the break
And
there.
exactly. So you got to do all of that. In the restaurant business, you got to have a 4-compartment sink. You got to have a pre-rinse. You got to wash. Then you got to soak off or rinse off. And then you got to sanitize.
I love that. I
And
love that.
so, you know, that's why.
That's that Serve Safe certification.
That's
It's a
right.
big deal. It's a big deal.
Right.
All right, so what's the next step,
So
Chef?
now I'm going to just cut up our cheese. I'm not really picky. We want to make sure it's like, you know, thin enough to actually
Melt. Right?
melt. But I'm not that picky. It doesn't have to be, oh, it's got to be shredded or anything like that.
So when it goes in the oven, how hot will the oven be?
I put the oven at 425.
Okay, and it's going to bake for about what, 25 or
About.
Okay.
I do about 15, 20 minutes. It just
Okay.
varies on what kind of stove you have, and just kind of watch it.
I think we need a quality control so I can check this. Tell them on cheese. Or
Has your
something.
hands been washed?
Yes, they have, sweetheart.
Thank you.
We got to do a quality control there.
So, as mentioned before, we have a few slices of the good cheddar cheese. Then we'll have some slices of the Gouda cheese, and this just adds
So much flavor.
so much flavor to the mac and cheese.
I love it.
And the secret about this, I'll be honest, and one of my friends,
Aren't you always honest, sweetheart? Did you see that look, baby? I said,
well, what I was going to say is I've never done mac and cheese, lobster mac and cheese before. I've had it before, but I've never cooked it before. And so I tell everybody that if you ask me to cook, whatever year you ask me to cook for you in, everybody's getting the same menu with some variation.
Gotcha. I love that.
Because it's a theme. It's like,
yeah.
what do I feel like making? I think I want to make steak. Like, I'm going to eat it. We all know, like, you don't really want to eat it when you're cooking, but
No, I do.
some
I'm
of us
sorry.
do.
I'm
Never hungry. when we
You're
sit down at the table.
never hungry.
So the cheese looking good there. I'm going to allow you to finish chopping up the cheese.
Okay.
Making our roux, Joy.
Yes, so we're going to make a roux. This is the base of our cream sauce for the cheese. And so I've put about 2 tablespoons of butter
Okay.
ish.
Ish. I love that. Butter-ish, tablespoons ish. Right?
And then I will melt it.
Okay. Same idea, right? You want to get the whole pan coated
Yes.
for when you make the roux. Now, if that spatula's not sturdy enough, I've got another one for you. And I just love my colored spatulas. By the way, folks at home, I'm doing this handheld. I took it off my tripod so I could get some close shots, and I like this. It's nice having someone in the kitchen that knows what they're doing, so I can do just the taping.
So it's funny because I laugh because my grandmother, when she cooked, we would always ask her how to make something, and so we were working on the cookbook together,
Yes,
remember?
yes.
And so I would say, Grandma, how do you make your little wonder cake? And so she would go through and give me the ingredients and how to make it. And every time I'd ask her, so how much of this, because in culinary school you learn you have to use your measurements.
Right.
And so she said, you asked me how to make it, didn't you? And I was like, she's like, I told you. And I said, I need a measurement. Give
She
me
said, you asked me, right?
yeah, give me a measurement, woman. And then she'd say, you asked me, I'm telling you.
Just make it. Well, it's funny because my first cookbook that I wrote, it was really Mama's recipes, and I would get the ingredients together, and like this right here, I would grab her hand and measure what she had. That's how I came up with the first set of recipes.
Oh, wow. Well, I wish I'd have thought that through. I should have sat with her. So now we got the butter cooking. So
Okay.
what we'll
Now
do.
this is the classic roux. This is what we talk about in New Orleans when you're making like a gumbo or whatever. You got to make a roux, right?
And typically a roux is the base for a lot of your cream sauces. And it's basically the creamy butter that gives it that flavor and body, and the
Yeah.
flour that gives it the thickness.
When people talk about like the more you cook it, the more nutty or different type
Yes.
qualities come out, right?
Yes, and we were joking today because I was asking Curtis, well, how many levels? I forgot how many. You could have a blonde roux, you can have, so we were going through the different ones.
level, yeah, the
And
colors.
he asked why I asked the question because I realized that no matter, I've burnt my roux before, so I thought it has some crispiness to it. But the cool thing about it was it just made it
gave
taste
more-
even more.
Yeah, it gave more
Flavorful.
funk to the soul, right?
Right.
Oh,
And
that's
so-
gorgeous right there, Joy. Wow.
So we make it, I like to have mine a little brown.
Yeah.
It'll thicken up a little bit here.
And you use about what, 2 tablespoons ish, as you said?
Ish, as because I like a lot of butter. And the
Yeah.
beauty of cooking is, it's a science, but
Yeah.
sometimes you could take liberty. You
Yes.
can't do that with bacon.
That's true. When you're in the oven, you've got to be precise, right?
Right.
This is and it smells so good. Now
So-
that's got a little color to it. I see that color.
Yes, and then I'm gonna take it off the heat for a minute
Okay.
so that I can, because I want to keep it somewhere in this range. It's very
Oh,
brown.
that's beautiful.
It'll look
A little scorch spot right there. Huh? Is that,
a little
how do
bit.
how do we fix that?
It's all good. I'm gonna add a little bit of cool liquid.
Ah. It's all good. I love it. It's just like you said, it adds more character to that dish, right?
Right.
And one of the things about the ceramic pans is that they conduct and hold heat very much like cast iron. So I've learned to really be tricky with these ceramic pans. I love cooking with them.
But you gotta be
You got to be
careful.
on it. Yep.
So with that being said, I'm going to add a little cream. It'll help balance it out
There we
some.
go, yeah.
But this is where the magic is about to happen.
Talk to me.
So now we are kind of cooled it off just a little
Oh, that's beautiful.
so we can work with it.
Right, that's beautiful. So now there are 5 mother sauces, right?
Yes.
And can you remember those 5? You remember what
I'm going
they
to
are?
have to tell you I don't. But I
Okay,
remember
it's all
there's a
good.
bechamel.
Bechamel. Now I'm trying to remember because I was going to say that I know like in my neighborhood, in our neighborhood, the 5 mother sauces are mayonnaise, ketchup, mustard,
Mustard.
vinegar, and hot sauce.
Hot sauce.
You know what I'm saying? Okay, now I got to look up the 5 mother sauces. Hey, sweetheart, can you Google those for us?
That's so
The
sad.
5 mother sauces. I think I remember. Okay, there's hollandaise, there's bechamel, there's a tomato. What is it? Come on, we're chefs. We know this. Hollandaise. Well, that's what that lobster mac and cheese looks like when it's done, and we'll finish it up next week. Finish that sauce and then making it. I thought I'd let you see Joy tasting the dish along with Hannah and my lovely Lisa on the right. They all love that lobster mac and cheese. So did I. The girls took me down to the Japan Center, East and West, and I discovered some wonderful things. And we look forward to sharing those with you next week, along with some incredible foods and some donuts. Take a look at all the great donuts I got coming up right now. See you next week on the Curtis Aikens Show. Mochi for Hannah, cookies and cream for me, Fruity Pebbles for me, chocolate for me, cinnamon for me, strawberry for me. Joy, get your donut. Just kidding.